Language Foundation's Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A business firm that publishes magazines. He works for a magazine. A metal frame or container holding cartridges can be inserted into an automatic gun. A light, tight supply chamber holding the film and supplying it for exposure as required. A storehouse, as a compartment on a warship, where weapons and ammunition are stored. A periodic publication containing pictures and stories and articles of interest to those who purchase it or subscribe to it. It takes several years before a magazine starts to break even or make money. Product consisting of a paperback periodic publication as a physical object. Tripped over a pile of magazines. A business firm that publishes magazines. A metal frame or container holding cartridges can be inserted into an automatic gun. A metal frame or container holding cartridges can be inserted into an automatic gun. Cultivate, tend, and cut back the growth of. Sever or remove by pinching or snipping. Terminate or abbreviate before its intended or proper end or its full extent. Run at a moderately swift pace. A metal frame or container holding cartridges can be inserted into an automatic gun. An instance or single occasion for some event. He could do 10 at a clip. The act of clipping or snipping. An article of jewelry that can be clipped onto a hat or dress. Any of various small fasteners used to hold loose articles together. A sharp slanting blow. He gave me a clip on the ear. Attach with a clip. Clip the papers together. An electro-acoustic transducer that is the part of the arm of a record player that holds the needle and that is removable. A light, tight supply chamber holding the film and supplying it for exposure as required. Ammunition consisting of a cylindrical casing containing an explosive charge and a bullet, fired from a rifle or handgun. A module designed to be inserted into a larger piece of equipment. He loaded a cartridge of fresh tape into the tape deck. A storehouse, as a compartment on a warship, where weapons and ammunition are stored. A storehouse, as a compartment on a warship, where weapons and ammunition are stored. A periodic publication containing pictures and stories and articles of interest to those who purchase it or subscribe to it. It takes several years before a magazine starts to break even or make money. A firm in the publishing business. The proprietor of a newspaper. A person engaged in publishing periodicals or books or music. A firm in the publishing business. A firm in the publishing business. A firm in the publishing business. A mechanical device for holding something and supplying it as needed. A depository for goods. A port where merchandise can be imported and then exported without paying import duties. Bahrain has been an entrepot of trade between Arabia and India since the 2nd millennium BC. Depositing in a warehouse. My car is in storage. An electronic memory device. A depository for goods. Computer science. The process of storing information in a computer memory or on a magnetic tape or disk. The act of storing something. The commercial enterprise of storing goods and materials. An electronic memory device. A depository for goods. Storehouses were built close to the docks. A mercantile establishment for the retail sale of goods or services. Keep or lay aside for future use. Store grain for the winter. A supply of something available for future use. He brought back a large store of Cuban cigars. Find a place for and put away for storage. I couldn't store all the books in the attic, so I sold some. A depository for goods. Storehouses were built close to the docks. A depository for goods. Station where transport vehicles load or unload passengers or goods. The business of issuing printed matter for sale or distribution. The act of issuing printed materials. A copy of a printed work offered for distribution. The communication of something to the public, making information generally known. A dense crowd of people. To be oppressive or burdensome. Something pressed on his mind. The print media responsible for gathering and publishing news in the form of newspapers or magazines. The act of pressing, the exertion of pressure. He gave the button a press. Make strenuous pushing movements during birth to expel the baby. The state of demanding notice or attention. The press of business matters. A tall piece of furniture that provides storage space for clothes, has a door and rails or hooks for hanging clothes. A machine used for printing. Lift weights. This guy can press 300 pounds. Force or impel in an indicated direction. Squeeze or press together. She compressed her lips. A weight lift in which the barbell is lifted to shoulder height and then smoothly lifted overhead. Press and smooth with a heated iron. Press your shirts. Exert oneself continuously, vigorously, or obtrusively to gain an end or engage in a crusade for a certain cause or person. Be an advocate for. Press from a plastic. Press a record. Any machine that exerts pressure to form or shape or cut materials or extract liquids or compress solids. Ask for or request earnestly. Be urgent. This is a pressing problem. Clamp to prevent wooden rackets from warping when not in use. Create by pressing. Crowd closely. The crowds pressed along the street. Exert pressure or force to or upon. He pressed down on the boards. Place between two surfaces and apply weight or pressure. Pressed flowers. The print media responsible for gathering and publishing news in the form of newspapers or magazines. The set of elements common to two or more sets. An artifact that has been created by someone or some process. They improve their product every year. Commodities offered for sale. That store offers a variety of products. A quantity obtained by multiplication. The product of 2 and 3 is 6. A chemical substance formed as a result of a chemical reaction. A product of lime and nitric acid. A consequence of someone's efforts or of a particular set of circumstances. Skill is the product of hours of practice. An artifact that has been created by someone or some process. They export most of their agricultural production. The quantity of something, as a commodity, that is created, usually within a given period of time. Production was up in the second quarter. A display that is exaggerated or unduly complicated. She tends to make a big production out of nothing. A presentation for the stage or screen or radio or television. Have you seen the new production of Hamlet? Economics, manufacturing or mining or growing something, usually in large quantities, for sale. He introduced more efficient methods of production. Law, the act of exhibiting in a court of law. The appellate court demanded the production of all documents. The act or process of producing something. Shakespeare's production of poetry was enormous. The creation of value or wealth by producing goods and services. A variety of clip for holding pin curls. A magazine published for and read by members of a particular trade group. British, a magazine that is printed in color and circulated with a newspaper, especially on weekends. A magazine devoted to comic strips. Reflecting light. The horse's glossy coat. Based on pretense, deceptively pleasing. Superficially attractive and stylish, suggesting wealth or expense. A glossy TV series. Of paper and fabric and leather, having a surface made smooth and shiny especially by pressing between rollers. Glossy paper. A magazine printed on good quality paper. A photograph that is printed on smooth shiny paper. A magazine devoted to reports of current events, usually published weekly. An inexpensive magazine printed on poor quality paper. A soft moist part of a fruit. Any soft or soggy mass. He pounded it to a pulp. A mixture of cellulose fibers. Reduced to pulp. Pulp fruit. Remove the pulp from, as from a fruit. The soft inner part of a tooth.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.